Hi, I'm Kelly. Hi, I'm Kelly. Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is where I'll be sharing free video tutorials and interesting wire wrapping techniques. So hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments below if there's any techniques you would like me to cover. So check out my Etsy shop if you want to see my written tutorials. And thanks everybody. I shall see you there. Hi, I'm Kelly from Jewellery. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this pendant. This is a point. It's an undrilled point, and I know we always struggle with wrapping points, and I've been staring at this one for some time and I finally think I've got it. So I've put a list of everything you'll need in the description below, along with all my usual links. We've got Facebook, Instagram and Etsy, where I sell all my written tutorials if anyone's interested in having a nosy at those. To make this pendant you'll need 0.8mm wire, which is 20 gauge. I've cut two lengths at 10 inches, which is 26 centimetres. You'll need 0.315mm weaving wire, 28 gauge. You can go a step up or down on these recommended gauges. I've wound my weaving wire onto a bobbin. If you don't have a bobbin, don't worry, you can just cut lengths as you go. This is a Bobeeze bobbin by Beadsmith. Just wind your wire on there, and this hangs down by your side, and it just stops when you're working with a longer length. It just stops it just flailing about while you're working. Just makes it a bit easier. So we're going to be using a point today. So this is my point. It's 30mm long and it's 10mm across that widest bit. So you can use any size you like. Just remember to adjust your wire length if it's much bigger or smaller than mine, and preferably not a clear point. If you've got like a clear quartz point, it could look quite untidy because you're going to see all the wires going up the back as well. So preferably like a full colour point. So tools, I've got my pliers, my round nose pliers, cutters and bail pliers. If you don't have bail pliers, don't worry, you can just bend the wire over like a thin pencil or a crochet hook or something, anything you've got handy. My tools are Tronex. I don't put links anymore in the description below because there's too much messing about with the links, keep failing, but I have put a list down there of everything I use. These are needle nose pliers. If you want to have a look what I use, I bought these are a little bit more expensive, and I bought these because they last. I found with the cheaper ones I was buying that many, it just worked out cheaper for me in the long run if I pay a little bit more. And then these have lasted me years, so I'm really pleased with these. So cut your wires as I have. Take your two base wires and find the centre point. Position your thumb centrally on those wires. And we're going to start a weave just to the left of your thumb there. So take your weaving wire and we're going to start with 3 wraps around the bottom wire. So we're going to wrap once around the 2 wires, then we're going to wrap once around the bottom wire, and that's how we repeat. So welcome to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm posting quite a few videos on lately, so if you want to be notified whenever I post a free video, subscribe and hit the little bell icon. Really appreciate all you guys. So I've done about 18 repeats, I think, of that weave. So keep pushing your weave together as you go to keep it nice and tidy. And it might have moved a little bit as you've been weaving, so slide it back along so it's nice and central on your wires. We'll cut the wire at both ends, so give it a little pull to make it nice and tight. Oh, and we must finish with 3 wraps around that bottom wire. And then always remember to flatten down the cut ends. So take your pliers, and we want to bend the weave centrally. So I'm going to grip just to the right of the centre of that weave. And then we're going to bend it, and this bend needs to be the angle of the bottom of your point. So if your point doesn't have a V, mine's got quite a point at the bottom, so I'm going to bend my weave to match that point. If your point is rounded, then you just need to put a bend into your weave, so roughly to go around the bottom of your stone. It's not going to be exact because points are all different mad shapes, but it needs to be able to sit there. See, my angle isn't right, so I need to open that up a bit. But I do appreciate that these points come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Mine's quite a organised shape. So I've got that angle there. I wanted to do it with a more random shape point, but all mine are drilled. And I do love having the drilled ones. I love working with the drilled ones because it's easy, isn't it? So I'm going to pop that in there. So I've just turned it over so that my 3 wrapped bit is at the back. And then you want the nicer part of your point on the front. So my point roughly comes to the end of the weaves there. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold that against the bottom of the stone. And we're going to bend it up around the stone. Like that. Now it might not go first time, and that bottom needs adjusting again a little bit. So adjust your weave and your wires until your stone fits nice and snug in there. So I've just adjusted that bottom shape so it's fitting a bit better. I've also got flat sides on my point. You may not have that and just have to imagine the straightest part of it. But just squeeze it around a little bit. You're just focusing on this bottom section, just to get it to shape around the bottom of the point. So next, pinch the top. So you're pinching the stone down and you're kind of holding it all a bit straight. And we're going to take this front wire. Now I do appreciate it's going to be a bit fiddly to hold, but we're going to bring this wire across to the other side. And then we're going to bring it around to this side and we're going to scoop it up. So then we're going to take the next wire on the right and we're going to bring that wire, let it come up about halfway, and we're going to bend it over to the left. And we're going to scoop it over. If you go in nice slow movements, you can see where you're positioning your wires. I'm going to bring it down a little bit, and then we're going to scoop that wire up too. So it, on this side, it meets that scoop there, and then it comes up. Okay, so we've got our 2 right wires going over to the left. So now we're going to turn it over. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. So holding it the best you can, snug into the bottom shape if you can. We're going to take that first wire And I do appreciate that it's getting really fiddly now. We're going to bring him across like we did with the other one. Bring it over. And up on this side. So we're going to bring it right the way over to the side. And then we're going to scoop that wire up. So it kind of meets these on this side now. And then we're going to take the next one. I'm going to do the same thing again. So where it meets these here, we're going to bend it so it's still meeting those two wires there. So we've got 3 together there. And then I'm going to bring it down so it meets these 2 wires here. Bring it around so it needs to stay touching those. Bring it around, and then we want it to scoop up so it's touching those 2 wires there. So we've got 3 together here and 3 together here. So you may need to adjust them a little bit. So you can see where I'm going with it. I am a bit heavy-handed and I have squeezed the bottom shape a bit much. So you should have 2 wires coming up on one side and 2 wires coming up on the other. So the 2 wires on this side scoop over to the left, and the 2 wires on this side scoop over to the left. And so you've got 3 wires together here, 3 wires together here. Take a minute to just have a look at your shape. Make sure it all fits around your point. Give it a little squeeze. Make sure those 3 wires really do meet on both sides. And you've got 2 wires coming up, straight up on both sides. So now we're going to join the sides. You need a little bit of weaving wire, just about 6 inches I'd say. So we're going to join the 3 wires on the sides. So take your weaving wire. We're going to wrap 3 times around the lowest wire as you're looking at it to start. Slide it down to where the wires meet. I'm going to go over 2 wires, over 3, so you need to post it over that 3rd one. That's it. And then over 2. I think we'll go over 3 again, just so we've got a nice secure join. Go on. There it is. over 2, and then we'll go 3 wraps around that bottom wire. Cut that weaving wire at both ends and flatten down the cut ends. So now we need to do that to the other side too. So turn it around. We're going to join these 3 wires now. So make sure that they meet nicely. And then take 6 inches of weaving wire. So we'll wrap 3 times around the lowest wire as you're looking at it. Slide it down to where they meet. We'll go around 2. So we're just going to do the same thing that we did before. My point has got corners, and because I'm doing it on the corner, that's why it keeps getting stuck. That's my excuse. So then we go around 2, around 3, and then do what we did before. We go around 2 and then around 3 again. So please mention me when you're sharing your finished work, and please don't share in progress images, pictures of the process, as you give away all my secrets. Also showing the back gives away my secrets too. I prefer people came here and watched the videos. So thanks for everybody who does, and please mention me. Finish with 3 wraps around the bottom wire there. And we'll cut the wire off at both ends and press down the cut ends. So now we've got our joins on the sides. The bottom shape fits around the bottom shape of the point there. We've got 2 wires coming up on both sides. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this point, this wire on the right that's closer to the front, and we're going to bring it across the front of the stone. So we're going to shape it to come over the front. So I've gone up and over, and then when I get to here, I'm going to go up. So it kind of follows this shape. We've got a bit of organisedness going on here. So I'm going to push it around the side a little bit, so it's gripping around the sides of that point, and it comes directly up on this side. Turn it over, do the same thing. So this wire here, we're going to bring it up, and then we're going to scoop it over. Bring it across the point, all the way across, around to the other side, and then on the side, bend it up. So now we've got 2 new wires on each side that are going up together. So we always kind of finish with 2 wires on each side. So that's held nicely in place. I'm trying not to hide the stone too much, but at the same time I want to make the wires look quite pretty and flowing. That was my plan anyway. So we're going to add a little bit of weave to these wires at the top, and we're going to bring them in and make a nice little bail on the top there. If you want to do something else with the top, then you just got to bring your wires in together now with these weaves, and you can do whatever you want with the top there. So if this, where's my front going to be? This is going to be my front, because the weave at the bottom, you can see the 3 wraps at the back. So this is my front, So I'm going to add 3 wraps around the back wire. So I'm working on the 2 side right hand wires. I'm wrapping 3 wraps around the back wire, and I'm sliding it down to where it meets that side wire. So I've got 3 wraps around the bottom wire, and I'm going to do the same weave as we did for the bottom. So we go once around 2 wires, once around the bottom wire, and we only need to do a little bit of this. So we'll do about 6 repeats, I think. Finish with a couple of wraps on the bottom there. Push it all together. And cut the bottom of that wire. And we're going to need this weaving wire to do the other side. So I'm going to cut it and leave just a little bit. Hold on. So I'm just going to leave a little bit attached there in case I need to add or take more weaves. So I'm going to do the same for this side. So I'm fussy, so I'm just going to make sure that my wraps are all on the back. You probably won't even notice when it's done. So this time I'm doing 3 wraps around the top wire. Slide it down. And then we're going to do the same thing, same amount of repeats. So wrap around the both, bringing the wire up between the 2, wrap around the top wire. So I've got 6 repeats on each side, and what I'm going to do is bend those wires over so they meet at the point, and then I'm going to weave a bail. So if your side wires have met a bit further down, or if you've got more space on your point, then you'll need to add more weave. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to bend, holding the sides here, I'm going to bend the wires in now. So that they cross at the top there. I've just sort of put the wires inside each other so they go. So we've got that shape at the top. Because mine's a point as well. If yours is rounded, then you'll want to do a rounded top, or whatever you need to do to match that shape on the top of your point, and sometimes they're crazy shapes. So do more or less weaves, whatever you need to be able to reach to that top bit. Keep pushing your weaves together as well to keep them nice and tidy. So when you've reached this point, I need to cut off that little tail end there. So we've got a bit of wire on both sides. We need to bring the wires up so that they are next to each other rather than crossed over each other. So that's how we want the wire, so we can now work our bail. So looking at your wires at the top, we want the back wires to come out a little bit more. So the front wires are in and the back wires come out a little. So we've still got this nice open V shape on the top, but the back wires come out further. You know what I mean? And we're only going to do a little bail, so it's only going to be a little bit of weaving. I don't think I need that end because I'm happy with the amount of weaves, so I can cut that off now. That was in case I needed to add more. So I'm going to bring the weaving wire up between the two on this side, and that is to pull it together a bit as well. And I'll go around the middle two wires, just so it's a nice starting point. We've got them all tight together. Whoops. So our weave is, we do a wrap around the second wire, we go twice around two wires, we come up and we go around that second wire again, go over the third wire, counting the wires as if you're looking at them. So this one's the bottom one and this one's the top one. So I've gone over the third one, push it down. So we're going around the third one, then we go around the two wires twice, and then we go around the third one. So keep pushing it down as you go. And as you're working, try not to pull the wires together. And we're going to repeat that weave. So we go over the second one and really push it down. Twice around two wires. And then around the middle one. And then do it on this side. So I'm only doing a little bail on this one. And that is about a little less than, is that about a centimetre from that first wrap at the bottom? So do that many weave repeats. And then we're going to hold the weave so it doesn't move. And we're going to bring these wires in. And then hold this side so it doesn't move. I'm going to bring those wires in. And don't let the inner wires come together. Don't let the wires come together because they'll squash all your lovely weave. I'm just trying to match up my curves, you know how fussy I am. So when you've got this diamond shape on the top, pinch where they cross and we're going to pull them back out. Then hold that point again and just pull the outer wires out so we can carry on weaving. It just makes it a bit easier. So that's what we've got now. I think doing these quite a repeat on each side instead of just wrapping around once does help to keep it a bit tidier. Because doing a bail, I find that you get a lot of gaps and so it ends up untidy and it's very off-putting. But if you can do like a little weave repeat on each side, it kind of helps keeping the weave down and it keeps it a lot tidier. So now working this next bit, it's going to keep trying to slide up. So hold this side down and we're going to work this side. So keep your wire nice and slack, push it right the way down and then pull on the wire. So you've got that nice shape there. Again, holding it. We're going to go around, so I'm keeping my wire slack so it's not sliding up too much. And then we go around the two wires twice. And then around the third wire. And again, just keep pushing it down. And then hold this side. I'm going to take the wire over the other side. Again, keeping it nice and slack. Push it all the way down and then pull it. I'm pulling it to the back rather than pulling it up to get that shape, and then hold it and keep pulling it down. So we've gone around the inner wire, twice around the outer wires, once around the inner wire, and keep pushing it down as you go, and then do that until you reach this bottleneck at the top. So stop when you get to the top there. I am a bit heavy-handed and I have bent my wires out of shape a little bit, and I tried to get them nice as well. And if you've got gaps here, don't worry about it, because this is going to be the back. This won't be as obvious. So take your bail pliers if you have them. If you don't have them, don't worry. You can bend the bail over something else. You could bend it over a slim pen or a crochet hook or a paintbrush, something like nice and small. So we're going to bend it straight over the top there. And we're going to take the outer wires and we're going to bring them to the front, those two outer wires. And then the two inner wires, I'm going to bend those back a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So then as the bail comes together, just pop that back in just for a second. As it comes together there, let me just show you. Can you see how it's all gone to the back? So I'm going to bend it forward a little bit so that as that comes together, it kind of meets with a kind of circular bail. I saw someone had done quite a round bail on Facebook the other day and I thought it looked really cute. So I thought I'd give it a go. So I'm just doing very little movement so I don't squash anything. So we've got quite a nice tidy, tiny little cute bail on the top there that I'm way too close to try and show you. You can take the opportunity now to squeeze all those wires around your point as well, so it's all properly held in place. So the wire at the back, we'll go around the two wires a couple of times. Wires all got trapped underneath all my pliers. And we'll finish that with, I really need to give myself some more space. A couple of wraps around this bottom wire. I have everything close so I can reach it all and I haven't got to mess about, and then I end up with it all up my sleeves. So I'll cut that wire and I'm just pressing down the little end. We can cut those wires off just so they're out the way. So these two are coming around the front now. And that'll hold the bail together nicely. I'm going to bring those two wires across the front. And I'm going to scoop them down. I'm going to scoop this one down too. So that's what you want. Bring them over to the front and scoop them around so they meet. So we're just going to join those two little curves at the front there. So take a bit of wire. We'll wrap 3 times around the one. That's how Gracie's snoring her head off. So Gracie's been snoring her head off all the way through, and I've been so absorbed in this that I haven't really noticed. So all the noise you've been hearing It's our little Gracie. So then we're going to wrap around both wires a couple of times, 3 times. And then 3 times around the first wire. Just so that holds it. And we're going to cut that wire, that little weaving wire off at both ends, give it a little pull. So yeah, I'm just going to finish these 2 wires in very little curls. So I'm going to take these wires, I'm going to squidge the ends a little bit, and then I'm going to curl it, and I'm going to tuck the end of the curl in so it's nice and tight. And on this one, I'm going to squidge it, and then I'm going to curl it, curl it around and tuck that end behind so that's nice and tight as well. I'm going to do that for these on the back as well. I'm going to squidge them and curl them around too. I don't know if squidge is an actual word. Curl it around, tuck it in. So there we have it finished. I'm going to run and oxidise it. So there we have it, finished. I've oxidised mine. If you'd like help oxidising yours, I've done a few videos on oxidising and aftercare. I'll put a link in the description below. So thanks for watching if you've got this far, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now. Bye. So if you want to support me, head on over to Etsy and treat yourself to a written tutorial or 2. I'm currently running a sale, so that's 15% off. So look after yourselves, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now. Bye.